want to comment on the UK situation at the moment, the economic situation created by the Labour government, where they're claiming low inflation. A low inflation environment should be good for business, it should be good for growth, it should be good for wealth creation, but it's not. Consider this, that there's low inflation despite higher taxes, despite higher energy prices, and the PR playbook coming from the Labour government is one of a cost of living crisis. But isn't that one that's created by them with higher taxes on employees, on employers, on the way of living, on the taxes? And then they go for more, and then they go for more. But actually, think of the second level. If you've got low inflation in where you've got a tax-driven inflation system, the tax rises are putting up prices for consumers. So if you've got low inflation despite the tax increases, does that actually mean that the real growth in the economy, the part of the economy that generates the wealth, not takes the money and redistributes it for pet projects, is the real economy actually in negative inflation? Is it in negative growth? Uh, is the UK, in fact, going into a recession or a depressionary period? These are real considerations that we should wonder. Speculation going on after strong stock market booms over the last few years, that there could be a crash coming up. We're seeing that property prices are reducing radically in the UK because property rental landlords are selling up. There's no point when your business being attacked with higher taxes as well as inheritance tax from this Labour government, and no way out. Higher capital gains up from 10 to 18%, higher property rental tax up 2%, and inheritance tax applied at the end of that. So the property prices are collapsing. That undermines the asset value of the credit lines, of the business capacity to invest and grow. But the taxes drain the profit and the growth potential anyway. It's an interesting situation where the government monopoly, the government with a monopoly of votes based upon a failed voting system, is potentially creating a stagnation, recession, or depression in the UK. That's my observation. If your business or your property or your family is stuck in the UK and you want to consider relocating overseas, your business, your property, your investments, yourself, then Proact can help, and we can provide an alternative way of living. In a recent survey, the cost of living index for somewhere like Cyprus is rated as 58.8, which is 38th in the world. So it's not the cheapest place to live, it's not the most expensive, but it's certainly a competitive cost-based environment to live in inside the European Union. So Malta, Estonia, Cyprus, all around about the same in Europe, low cost of living. Very attractive about Cyprus as well is that the rent index, that the cost of rents to earnings is relatively low as well, at 26%, as opposed to the high rents that you get in the UK. So relocating to Cyprus can be a low cost option for a cost of living basis and a rental basis, or buying property basis, and it can get you out of the higher taxes you've got in the UK. If you want to consider relocating your business, your property, your investments, or yourself overseas to avoid the tax trap and depression of the UK economy, contact us at proactpartnership.com.